Hello, good morning. It's me again, Chukwuma Moghalu, on a brand new episode of NIMASA podcast. Today, Friday, the 16th day of November 2023, I bring to you an interesting conversation around seafaring, particularly the life and experiences of a female seafarer of Nigerian origin. Please welcome Lucky Deborah, officer in charge of navigational watch on board vessels. Good to have you.
Thank you. Nice being here with you.
Thank you for coming. So let's keep the ball rolling. Who is Lucky Deborah? Tell us your background. What state are you from? And, tell us a little bit more about you and your upbringing.
Okay, so I'm from Bayelsa State. I was born in Nimbe local government area. I was born in the village. The first 8 years of my life was in the village. And my biggest cheerleader was my late mom. As at the time, she taught me everything I know, including trying to teach me English. Then my dad was in Port Harcourt studying. So I basically grew up with my mom in the village while my dad was in Port Harcourt trying to make things out for us. So in 2000, I came to Inegwa to enter school again, because I was schooling in the village. And when I came to Inegwa, it was very difficult for me to understand English. So I found it very difficult, but my mom kept motivating me to try my best to learn. And so far, so good. I was doing very well time to time. And then I entered secondary school. And after secondary school, I was trying to gain admission into the universities, because then my whole family was living together. My dad, my siblings, and my mom were all living in Inegwa. And then while trying to gain admission into the university, I come across a skill acquisition form. My sister's friend gave it to me, and he told me to fill the form and put able seaman, and I did. And the next day, I wrote the exam, and I was lucky enough to have passed the exam to be part of the NIMASA NSDP.
I think we'll get to that. Let's go slowly. Okay. What an interesting conversation. But I think we'll get to that aspect, because my next line of question is, what school did you attend? Now, this is what we want to hear is starting from your secondary school and the order of progression. What university did you attend? What year or years of graduation, as it is referred to in your line of profession. Yeah. So, and that you also get to tell us what course you studied in university. And of course, I'm very much aware that you have a Medal of Honor to your name.
Yes.
So yeah, in that category, tell us about your schools. Tell us about your year or years of graduation, according to your professional line, your course of study, and tell us more about the Medal of Honor in your name.
Okay. So when I got the scholarship, my name was shortlisted to be in the University of Cebu, in the Philippines.
The Philippines,
yes.
All right.
So in the school, we have an academic year of 3 years in school and 1 year on board ship to graduate fully.
So there's a total of 4 years before you call it a graduation.
Yes. Okay. So we do it 2 graduation. There's 1 graduation after the 3 years.
Okay.
Then you do your 1 year on board ship, and then you get your second graduation. So it's a 4 years course. So I started in 2013, November. Okay. And then the first graduation was in 2016. Okay. That was the same time my mother passed
That was
away.
like more or less the theoretical aspect of the training.
Yes, the theoretical aspect of the training. So the practical aspect was the 1 year on board ship. But from 2016, I could not get placement because of gender inequalities, and I could not get companies to accept me. So I struggled for like 5 years. So it was in 2021, through the help of NIMASA again.
So you got the opportunity for the 1 year sea time, I guess.
Again, yes, right. Through NIMASA again. So I went on board. I was on board a Nigerian vessel. So I sailed for 1 year. It was an oil tanker vessel. I sailed for 1 year. And after that, I went back for the graduation. Okay. And with my outstanding performance on board the ship and my performance in the academic session for the 3 years, I was awarded a Medal of Honor.
I heard you're the best graduating student of your set. So give us a little bit highlight about it. What was it like, being amongst the top of your class and, inspiring a lot of women across the world?
Okay, so it was a very big thing for me and my family because I come from a very small family and it's not like my family name has made waves before. So I knew I had to challenge myself to do better. So when it happened, it gave me a great joy when I got the email that I was going to be awarded a Medal of Honor.
Yeah.
So when I went there, I was very happy. I invited my friends that were in Cebu City and they attended the graduation. And it was a very memorable day for me. I was very happy and my family was very happy as well because I have actually made them proud.
I can imagine the thing of joy it is for somebody like you from a humble background, you know, from a little beginning, going to do big things in big cities, in the city of Philippines, University of Cebu. So congratulations on that Medal of Honor.
Thank you very much.
It's quite inspiring seeing females participate in a male-dominated field. What has been your motivation? Or from inception, what was your motivation to go into this field? Are your parents or members of family in the maritime industry? Who is your role model?
First off, there is nobody in my family in the maritime industry. And when I got the scholarship was when I got to know about, like I said, I was born in a village. It was when I got to know about there is nautical science, there's naval architecture. All I knew was marine engineering. So when I got the scholarship and I got into the nautical science, I was really motivated because I loved the career. So I challenge myself to do better and make sure I strive hard. So my greatest motivation to myself was my goal-getting spirit. I'm a goal-getter, and anything I passionately want, I always make sure I get it. Yes. Yeah. So, and my role model is my dad. He has been my number one cheerleader. His name is Mr. Lucky.
Oh, shout out to Mr. Lucky. You know, that's great knowing that a member of your family is your inspiration, is your motivation, is your role model. Interesting to know. You know, having said that, you come from a water side. You come from, should I say, a water-dominated area, Nimbe, like you said, in Bayelsa State. So this skill acquisition form you talked about, how does it trickle down? How did you get to see it? Was it like somebody was doing like, you know, a selection process? How did it get to you to see this skill acquisition form to enroll yourself in this path?
So in 2012, there was a skill acquisition form. There were different roles: catering, computer science, crane operator, different categories.
Who was responsible for bringing this?
It's the Bayelsa State government.
Okay, interesting.
So they brought out the skill acquisition form and there were different categories. So the person that gave me the form asked me, and I told him I was a science student, and he specifically told me to put the able seaman. That's how I got to know about it, and then told me to write the exam the next day at the law school in Yenegua.
So as at this time, it's two shout outs. One to Mr. Lucky, your dad, and the second shout out to whoever brought that form to you through the Bayelsa State government. Thank you very much. When was your last voyage? When last were you on board a vessel? How long was this voyage? I presumed you started sail from Nigeria. And if you did, what countries did you have to go through, and where was your final destination?
Okay, so my last voyage was in 2022 in June. That was like I was already 1 year on board the ship because I started in June 2021. Okay,
that was your last voyage, I guess.
That was my last voyage before my sign-off. So I have been sailing from 2021 June till 2022 June. So it was already complete the 1 year I require to get my license and every other
certifications and all of that.
Yes. So the last voyage, I'm on board the tanker vessel, like I said earlier. So we sailed to Togo, Lomé, and we loaded automobile gas oil. That is diesel. And then we brought it back to Lagos. That's where I signed off. So I visited Tema, Ghana, Angola, Togo, Lomé, and then Nigeria, because it was a Nigerian company.
Oh, okay. So it was a Nigerian company vessel. So you started off at Nigeria and you ended your voyage back here in Nigeria. All right. So, you know, sea time being an essential part and the dream of every cadet in the industry, we all understand the difficulties and the politics involved. that plays out when it's time for a cadet to fulfill this essential part of their career called sea time. Who is your sponsor? What does the Nigerian Seafarers Development Program carried out by NIMASA mean to you?
The NSDP program means a lot to me because it has been the pillar of my success in my university years, because I went to the university through the NSDP program. My parents did not pay for my school fees. It was the NSDP program. And the NSDP program, after 5 years of graduating, sent me on board. And they are the ones funding my
Sorry,
COC.
excuse me. So that is 3 shout-outs now. We have one to Mr. Lucky, your dad, to the provider of the form, and now to NSDP, being sponsored by NIMASA. Please carry on.
Okay, so NSDP was the one that took me on board, and I have gotten a lot of motivation because I never gave up while waiting for the cadetship. So I'm going to say to every seafarer waiting for their cadetship, it takes perseverance and to know that you really want this, because it's not everybody that got the opportunity that really wants it. If you really want it, I would encourage you to persevere and never give up, because I never did. Even when I wanted to give up, I never did give up. That is why I'm here.
So that's a word of encouragement to every cadet and those intending to go on sea time.
Yes, and I wish every cadet and every seafarer that they will be the next on this seat that I'm sitting on. They are going to make waves for their family. They are going to make name for themselves and everything. So I would encourage them not to give up, to persevere, and there is always a light at the end of the tunnel.
All right, talking about encouragement and having to give goodwills to people, how would you encourage the younger generation? I mean, maritime is a field that is dominated by the male gender, like I said initially. So for younger people that wish to come into the maritime industry, particularly in your field, which is a very essential role. I mean, seafarers they are all at the heart of commerce. And without you guys, getting goods around the world would probably be a disaster. So what would you say to the younger generation that are looking to have a career in the maritime space, particularly seafaring? What would you advise them?
Okay, my advice is it's a male-dominated career, quite all right, but I am already excelling right now. So I would say if you really want this, you should never give up, because we can achieve a lot of things if we don't give up. And even though it's a male-dominated career, there are still women in the career that are excelling. There is still women that are captains and chief engineers all around the world. So it is not just in Nigeria that you are going to give up because it's a male-dominated career. There are women in Philippines, in Nigeria, Norway, and other parts of the world that are making waves. So I even have friends that have gotten to the top of this career in Nigeria. So I would say you should not give up, because even when I was on board, a lot of people discouraged me that this is a male-dominated career. Why are you on board? Why don't you sit at home and do other things like teaching and all that? I said, this is what I want. So if this is what you want, I would say you should not give up.
I like that. So at the end of the day, you should not give up. You know, there's a Nigerian saying that says, now who give up, now you lose.
Yes.
So in other words, you don't have to lose. You have to keep trying, and hopefully, God willing, one day your time will come to go on board the vessel and advance your career in seafaring. Oh, you graduated with a BSc in marine transport.
Yes.
What about it? Who are those that would like to study this course in the university, and what does it really entail to be a BSc holder of maritime transport?
Okay, so what you require to be a BSc holder of maritime transport, first, you need to be a science student.
Okay.
And you need to have a credit unit for chemistry, physics, and mathematics, English. So when you get to the university, you need to persevere, but it takes 4 years.
Okay, the university course is a 4 years. It's a 4 years thing.
It's a 4 years course.
Okay.
To get a BSc in maritime transportation, which entails 3 years in class and 1 year on board the ship.
On board the ship.
Yes.
That's correct. As an officer in charge of navigational watch, tell us a little bit more about your job description, what your responsibilities are, and how does your daily routine go? when you're on board a vessel, particularly?
Okay. So my duties and responsibilities as the officer in charge of the navigational watch is to monitor the safe loading and discharging of cargo. Because I worked on a tanker vessel, so you monitor the safe loading and discharging of cargo. You carry out navigational watches with the assistance of the ordinary seaman on the bridge. And then you carry out anchor watch on the bridge as well. And then you take fire rounds, and then LSA and FFA, which is life-saving appliances and firefighting appliances, maintenance is on you. So you have to make sure you maintain the life-saving appliances and the firefighting appliances.
So you have to ensure they are working at every point in time?
Yes.
Okay.
So you have to carry out surveillance. If there needs to be a repair, you write and report. And also carry out plotting of the routes to be navigated by the ship. And my duties on board are, I am to, as an officer in charge of the navigational watch, I'm going to start as a third officer on board a tanker. And I'm going to keep an 8 to 12 watch.
Okay.
And then I have additional 2 hours, which is 12 to 3 p.m.
3 p.m., yeah.
Yes. And then I will carry out an 8 to 12 midnight watch in the evening as well.
Okay. So what time does your day start typically?
Typically, it starts by 8 o'clock.
By 8 a.m. in the morning. What an interesting career. Now, without jumping the box, you know, there are recurring stories around sexual abuses on board vessels.
Yes.
What are your experiences? Are you a victim? Have you been a victim? Have there been advances made on you? Enlighten us. Would like to know, because every career has the good part and the bad part of it. And for people to be aware, for changes to be made, we must highlight every part of it and shine the torch to those aspects that we intend to change over time, and we intend to have people look deeply and closely at it. So tell us, have you been a victim of sexual abuse on board any vessel?
Well, technically, yes, but it was handled properly.
Okay.
So on board the ship, we were 4 females.
Okay.
There were 2 officers and 2 cadets.
Okay.
And then the rest were 28 crew. So the remaining 24 persons were guys.
Wow.
So
So just 4 females as against 24 males.
Yes.
You know, like we said, viewers, it's a male-dominated career path. So it's expected that there are always more males than females on board a vessel. That's why we keep advocating for more female participation in the maritime domain. Please go ahead.
Okay. So on board, since there are more male than female, those advances are highly expected. But it is the way you handle the situation that matters the most. So if someone, I'm giving an advice now to the other female that wants to embark on the career. If someone makes advances at you on board the ship and you are not interested, because it's a two-way thing, you have to be interested or uninterested. If you are not interested in such advances, you tell the person to stop. If the person still insists, then I will advise you to report to your superior, which is the captain.
Okay.
He can handle everything,
Okay.
the office, everything.
Okay.
So it is better to report to a higher authority than keep it to yourself, because when something happens and you have not made an initial report, it's going to still fall back on you. So when I had such a scenario and he still insisted, I told my
Superior.
first superior, yes, which is the third officer, and she handled it before it went to the captain.
Oh, perfect.
She issued him a warning and told him never to do that again, and he apologized, and it never happened again. So what I'm going to advise is, if you have such matters, you should report it as soon as possible, so that it can be handled, so that for future references they can refer back to she made a report in the first place.
Okay, so the situation or whatever case of sexual abuse you had on board the vessel was handled properly, adequately, as at when due, and the reason for that is you took the right step.
Yes.
You went to the right authorities, and you had an official complaint to your superior, who took charge and was able to stop that kind of scenario from playing out again.
Yes.
It's interesting to know, and it's good to know. You know, there are always bad eggs in every environment, and it's not unexpected or it's not strange, you know, to realize that in this field too, you might find bad eggs. But when the right thing is done, when it's been reported to the right authorities, then it's a step in progress, I presume. All right. I think that explains, the transactions and the happenings of seafarers on board a vessel. Rather, every career has its peak, and in your career as a seafarer, the peak is captainship.
Yes.
Are you aiming to get to that level, or is yours just a stint, and should I say a fair share of the national cake?
Well, my aim is to be a captain one day and to sail as a captain. So
Not just a sitting captain,
No.
but a sailing captain.
Yes.
All right.
That's my aim, to get to the very peak of my career. So I aim to get that. So after using this license for officer in charge of the navigational watch is valid for 5 years.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that you have to use it for the 5 years duration before you advance. You can use it for 3 years. It depends on the stamps on your discharge book. So when it is due for me, when I have the required stamp, I'm going to advance to the chief officer, and then like that till captain.
Progress. You continue
Yes.
that progress. So if we're to say from now till when you intend to become a captain, or when it comes to your doorstep, how many years would this entail? Like for us in the career and the civil service career path, we know it's 30, 35 years of service, or when you're 65 years of age. So for yours, what is the time? What is the lifespan? How many years from today are you looking at approximately before you become a captain?
I'm looking at the next 10 years.
The next 10 years?
Yes.
Wish you all the best, and hopefully we'll get to have you on this chair again in the future years, sitting as a captain. That being said, I actually like your uniform and it looks very good on you.
Thank
Do
you
you
very
miss
much.
home when you're on board a vessel? When you're having your sea time, when you're on voyage, how do you miss home? How do you get closer to your family? What are the means of communication, and what are the progresses? Do you have to wait till you see a postcard to send a postcard to your family to hear from them, or the networks, the phones, and all of that, are always in line when you're on board a vessel?
Okay, so seafaring is a very interesting career because globally there is an internet connection.
Okay.
So wherever you are in the world,
Okay.
even at sea, there is an internet connection. So it's constant communication. So you can communicate with your family every day.
Okay.
So I communicate with my family
Every day.
Yes.
All right. So for seafarers, do you guys have like an association where you communicate with yourselves, where you keep track of everybody's progress, and when you get ideas? Because one thing about life is you always have that person in your career path that has gone a step ahead of you, and most times we look up to that person and as a guide, to pull you through that career path. So do you guys have like a networking space where seafarers, where officers in charge of navigational watch and all of that get to meet, get to communicate, and all of that? If I may ask, are you married?
I'm not married.
You're married, yeah. So there should be
I'm
form
not
of
married.
You're not married.
Yes.
I get. So there should be some form of networking here and there, amongst yourself. At least there's no husband about to tell you who are you calling or where are you going to and all of that. So tell us, what's it like, in your networking space?
Okay, so because I graduated with my peers and all that, there are still a lot of them that are still pursuing the career.
Okay.
So we have our space where we talk to ourselves. Sometimes there are group chats where we post available opportunities that you can apply, like that. So we have our own different, it's just like group chats
Okay.
in WhatsApp.
Okay.
So you can...
There are various group chats where you're involved in and where you guys discuss your progress in your career path and all of that.
Yes.
All right, I get that. So now let's tone it down a little bit. If you were to call, if you're being called upon right now, that there was a vessel dispatching Nigeria this night, and Deborah Lucky should be on that vessel, are you prepared?
Yes, I am prepared. I have all the required documents and the skill to do that.
Okay, so you're ready and just waiting to be called upon.
Yes.
And like they said, opportunity and preparedness goes hand in hand. So when you're prepared and when the opportunity comes, you grab it. Good to hear that. Would you like to use this platform of ours? Like you can see our new studio. This is an invention of the Dr. Jamo-led administration of NIMASA, particularly a brainchild of the head of the Public Relations Unit, Mr. Edward Osage. Would you like to use this platform right now to give a word of encouragement to us, to tell us what you would like us to do better, what you would like us to talk about in the nearest future? And, you know, just to, moreover, you're part of the family. You're part of NIMASA. NIMASA made it possible for you to be in the university, to study your course of your dream course. NIMASA made it possible for you to experiment, and not just the theoretical part of the theory part of your career. Now you've gone into the practical aspect of it, all thanks to NIMASA. What would be your word of encouragement to NIMASA? You know, there's some things people, so when someone does something nice for you or to you, there's the way you say thank you, and that person is moved to do more. So what would you say to NIMASA, if not for you, on behalf of those that are coming after you, to say thank you and to encourage them for a job well done?
Okay, so on behalf of myself and the other cadets and other seafarers that have benefited from this program, and on behalf of my family, I want to say a big thank you to NIMASA, the Director General, Dr. Bashir Jimoh, and the entire NSDP team and the entire NIMASA as a family. I want to say a big thank you. And what I'm going to say is there are still a lot of seafarers who are still here to attend, to go to their cadetship that we started together. There are still a lot of seafarers that are yet to get their COC because they are waiting for the documents to be signed. So the only thing I'm going to say is those people are really waiting for the opportunity to get to this level of the career and to the peak of their career. It takes just one signature to do that. So they are waiting, and I'm going to plead with NIMASA to come to their aid and to help them. But from my own end, I'm going to say a very big thank you on behalf of my father, Lucky, my entire family, and my friends. I'm going to say a big thank you to NIMASA, to the Director General, and to the entire NSDP team as a whole. Thank you very much.
Would also like to give you an opportunity, if, just like you're giving the mic now, say something to the aspiring ladies, the females, encourage them to come to the maritime space. Encourage them to become seafarers. Encourage them to dream about the waters, because whether you like it or not, this is an essential career path. And you see, in the world we have today, everything revolves around commerce, around the sea, around the ocean. A good percentage of everything we have to eat, we have to consume, we have to wear, we have to move from point A to point B, goes through the waters, goes through the oceans, thereby making your career a very essential part. And still yet, we don't have a lot of people in it, more especially females in Nigeria. So encourage them. What would be your words of encouragement? If you were to stand on a big podium now, what would you tell our young girls? How would you entice them? How would you encourage them to join the maritime sector? Because a lot of people are looking up to you, seeing you looking all pink in your white and white, looking very neat, and you know, it's something you have to admire. So say some words to our younger girls, you know, say something to our growing generation. You know, right now in Nigeria, there are a lot of youths, and I think the youths make up more of the population. So speak to them. Tell them what the industry is all about, what their expectations could be, and the progress they should look forward to having in this kind of career path.
Okay, so my advice is, if you are a female or male, I'm going to say it in general.
Yeah, I wanted particularly the female audience, because, you know, for the ladies, when they see you a successful lady in this career path, they get motivated. After watching this video, bear in mind that you're going to have 1 or 2 new role models. Like you mentioned your own role models. Yeah. So tomorrow you have people mentioning, their role model is Lucky Deborah. So tell those people, tell your mentees something, because from today, I'm sure you're going to have mentees looking up to you in the field.
Okay, so what I'm going to say is, as I'm going to use myself for example, I love to travel. And what better way to travel the world than to earn from it. Because as a seafarer, I get to visit a lot of new countries every day, and I'm earning from that. So it's a very, very lucrative career. It's a very good career to embark on as a female. You are going to stand out in the crowd. It's not just an ordinary career, especially as a female, being in a male-dominated field. And if you persevere and excel, you are going to be having a lot of people looking up to you that you are in this career that is male-dominated. So I would really encourage you that this is a very good career. If you want to embark on it, there is no going back. You should not look back or think of where you are going to go from where you are. You should just go on and everything will be all right.
Thank you very much. So I enjoin you, my viewers, to look into the career path of seafaring, as it is an essential part of our living. The females in the world, the females in our generation, the females of Nigeria will encourage you, and we hope that someday you'll be part of the success story in the maritime space. Thank you for gracing us, Deborah, in today's episode of NIMASA podcast. We are delighted to have you, and we appreciate your presence. And of course, we hope all the best things come to you in your career path as you progress. We pray and we hope that it's going to be success all the way. Thank you very much. And for my beloved viewers, it's been a very interesting one. Thank you for tuning in today, because that will be all. But you can watch this program again on all our social media handles at NIMASA Officials. You can go back to YouTube again to also watch this particular episode so that you can get more insight to our conversation. Thank you, and see you next time on NIMASA Podcast. Bye for now.